Grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B. I am a son of an all-powerful and all-loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships living in the miracle of recovery. What a beautiful place it is to be in recovery. And I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, why don't you come on and say hi for a bit?
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki M. And you know what? I'm a really beautiful, loving child of God. We just came off our Monday morning Noodle with Nikki meeting, and a woman on there, she was in pain. She's been alone a long time. Love addiction is real, everybody, if you're out there. And I just spoke the truth over her, looking at her. It's like, you're so beautiful. You're this angel, this earth creature that is just magical and mystical, and nothing can touch you. So if I'm saying that to a fellow, I realize in that moment, and I do realize it a lot, I need to say it to myself. So, hi, everyone. I'm Nikki, and I'm a beautiful, intelligent agent, spearhead of God, that my God is just so crazy about me. And I know Justin's God is crazy about him too.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah. And that's something I'm gonna riff for just a minute here. This last week, I was talking to my sponsor, and the term imperfect came up, and I'm grateful to be a beautifully imperfect, stumbling, bumbling child of an all-powerful, perfect God. And grateful that my God puts his arm around me and says, you know what, you screwed up. That's okay. Let's keep walking. Let's go. And what an awesome thing to have some power that accepts me even in imperfection. All right, let's jump into this. This is the Noodle It Out with Nikki podcast. And what we do here is we just bring questions from our own lives, from the lives of others we work with, from the Noodle with Nikki chat that's on WhatsApp. If you're interested in getting in there, send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com. That's Nikki with 2 Ks. We can get you in that Noodle chat. And if you have questions for us to ask us directly, you can do the same thing there. Just send a question along through email. We'll get to those. Today, we're going to jump into a question that came in the Noodle chat. And I'm going to adapt it just a little bit so it's so it flows in what we've got going here. This comes in from somebody who says, I've worked the steps. I've got a sponsor, and now I'm at the place where I really want to help others and sponsor others. But as I go out there, I'm having a hard time finding a sponsee to work with. And please help me find direction to find a sponsee. So Nikki, what do you think? What does the book say? And how do we want to dive into this?
Okay, well, we want to dive into it really slowly. And I want to thank Justin again. I'm just so grateful to everybody. The power of the mind. Remember, this power is deep down inside of us. So I just want to start there. And as Justin said, only God is perfect. So if you're a perfectionist and you're on here, you'll never be perfect. We love you enough to tell you. Page 60 says we are not saints. It says spiritual progress, never perfection or not perfection. So I do want to just start there. And I just want to, gratitude for this podcast because it's a wonderful resource. So there is a 7th tradition. And if you're listening, please look wherever it is, because I'm not tech savvy, but I know it's somewhere on one of your listening devices that you can find that 7th button and click it. Because I spent a lot of money in addiction. And so I want to spend a lot of time and effort, and it's not a lot of money to get better. So I need sponsees. That's going to be the role in here. I need sponsees to get better. So this is all free work, right? This is all, let's just go there. This is free spiritual work. So you want to make the approach, says the book. Okay. So you've just finished your steps with your sponsor. And it's a 12-step program. And it says, like, we're to do this stuff fast. We're to launch out, and find this sponsee, this fellow, this this person who is suffering, this dying addict. And the best place to find them is in the rooms. That's it. Now, number one, if you are, we just came out of COVID. If you're listening to this in 2030, 10 years ago, there was a pandemic and we were all kind of locked away and we needed Zoom meetings. But now we've opened up, and hopefully that's still true in 2030. You're free to walk into a meeting with your big book and make an approach. Page 18, let's get it out. Says, I'm sorry, I got a frog in my throat every time I want to record. That's God's way of keeping me right at attention, not speaking too fast. But the ex-problem drinker, page 18, 4th edition, Big Book, Alcoholics Anonymous. We have found a solution. See, we've been through the steps and it says, you're properly armed with the facts about yourself. And it says you can generally win the entire confidence of another addict in a few hours. Now, I can do it in a few minutes, and I know Justin can too, because we speak big book. We can say, I know what you're suffering from, I too, and just go from there. But right here, that last paragraph says, the man, and above there I put BBS, a big book sponsor, and I'm a woman, so the woman who is making an approach. See, we make the approach. So if you're on a Zoom meeting, you can hear someone share and put your number in the chat and say, message them directly. I heard you share. I am armed with the facts. I have a way and a method and a way out. Because your deportment shouts. That's why it doesn't take a few hours. Your deportment shouts. You walk the talk to the new prospect, that you are a person with a real answer. See, I've been here before, Sponsee, new friend. Or new friend, they're not even your sponsee. I've got a method. This is what it looks like, and this is what we're going to do. You can arm them with some facts. This isn't going to take long, and they may have some questions, and you can answer it using the big book. Well, how long does this take? Well, it says next, launched, fast. It doesn't say it takes 2 weeks. Well, on your resentments, it's 500 names. No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say a number. There's no numbers in here of time. There's not even numbers of sobriety dates in here. This gets really radical with times and dates. It's not in here, but there are some key words. Next, launched, made the approach. Let's all turn to page 153. Okay. And it says here on page 153, it says, this is on the third paragraph down, that's recovered people. See, we've recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind, and you need to work a 12-step program. You need the Sponsee, because stay here on page 153 with me, but on page 15, it says, when all other measures fail, work with another addict will save the day. So you need this prospect. You need the Sponsee. You don't need another sponsor. You don't need another program. But Nikki, I'm in AA. I need SLA. I need SA. I need food addicts. I need NA. No, you don't. See, the rooms are watered down. They'll say, and I'm going to show you where it says we discuss all these problems in one room. So we will make the approach to still other sick ones. Now, you may even be in a bright spot in your congregation, in your yoga class, and you may say, hey, I found a way out. I heard you speaking or talking. There's this program I'm involved in, and if you want some information, I can send it to you, or if you'd like to join me at a meeting. I've done that. And when we have visitors, Justin, our church does an exchange program, and we get some from Germany. Oddly enough, it's so great. I can use my 2 words in German, "Wie geht's?" "Danke." And they've shared their testimony. That's what we do in church, and other things that you'll share with people, even speaking when you do fellowship after, say, when you go to whatever, your Passover dinner, whatever it is, you're fasting and you're coming out of Ramadan, whatever it is, you're sharing stories. And one of them said, they're like a young person, I'm a porn addict. And I was like, wow, you have that in Germany too? And now he got better through his church, but I did invite him through a meeting, because imagine this guy, he could really learn the 12 steps and really help other porn addicts his age. So there's all these different ways to make the approach in a general way. Remember, anonymity is real important. So and further down on page 153, it says this. In the chapter Working with Others, you gathered an idea of how we approach and aid others to help. Did you read the chapter Working with Others? Did you gather an idea of how we, big book sponsors, how we approach and aid others to health? Go across on page 153, says, where are you going to meet these new friends? He says, it says you are going to. It actually tells you, because the question before is, how is that to come about? The person in the Noodle chat asked, how am I going to find a sponsee? I just finished my 12 steps. Well, here it is. How's this going to come about? Where am I going to find these sponsees? Well, it says it right here. You are going to meet these new friends in your own community. In your own community. Near you. And hey, everybody, thank you, God, for the internet. Lots of days I'm like, this is a curse. But Justin, it's a blessing too. Like you and I are able to help each other so much through this. So the internet, there's thousands, if not millions. I got a message the other day from a guy in Egypt. Thank you for inviting me to your house, friend in Egypt, because I'm studying about the pyramids. See where religious people are right. I mean, you've got to expand. And I'm like, Justin, this is God. Like my mind's so much on exploring, that history and where all this came from. And there's a friend in Egypt who said, I saw you on a meeting, Nikki. I want more information. Like, there we go. From a different fellowship. You see, this is so, oh my gosh. Well, go back up, everybody. Page 152 we're on. It says the most satisfactory years of your existence lie ahead. I mean, that's a promise, everybody. So get a sponsee, because it says this is what's going to happen. High and low, rich and poor. These are your future fellows of any anonymous. Justin, I want to give you a chance to talk about it back with me, noodle some things out. But you and I went deep with our friend David G on our roundtable. So if you're listening, not only are Justin and I here noodling out a bunch of stuff on every Tuesday, a new episode comes out, but on Thursdays, a new episode comes out of our roundtable with David G. And we go line by line through the book. It's taken me, oh man, this was just a couple months ago, I guess maybe a year ago we've been at this. It seems like just yesterday we started the roundtable. I see Justin going, yeah, it does. But we went to the forward to the second edition, XIX. And so I wanted to spell something also, because, I'm working on this resentment. I belong to not only Noodle with Nikki, but my sponsee, July 16th, 2018, created a group called Spiritual Gangsters for me and three of my sponsees, her and my other two. We're like the four musketeers. These girls were all my daughter's age. And of course, there's Nikki, because Cameron said, go out and sponsor. And I went out, and one was just a codependent, one was an alcoholic addict, sex addict, all these things, a variety of little girls. And they were even younger than my daughter at the time. And so one of them, tech savvy, said, I'm going to start this group called Spiritual Gangsters. And then through that, we started growing. And as you know, we have 9 groups. We've had so many people on here speaking. We've got, some spearheads that helped me grow that group, that helped God grow that group. But there was a watered down message in it. And it was eating my soul, because it's like, call this person if you need a sponsor. That's not what the book says. See, that's where I had to really stand up as God's people and say, show me what page that's on in the big book. It doesn't say temporary sponsor. It certainly doesn't say call so-and-so if you need a sponsor. It says we make the approach. We make the approach. Now, that being said, Justin, someone calls me and I know you because I know how you sponsor. We've been working together on the same team. I'm not your sponsor, but I actually suggested someone to you who was my sponsee to take you through this method, blah, blah, blah. That is different. Call Nikki. She can refer you one of her sponsees, but we don't refer, because how do we know what method they're using? How do we even know if so I heard this guy, Joe Blow. Well, what's his method? Is he only in the big book? See, I'm trying to create the fellowship I crave. God's trying to create the fellowship. And I wanted to take us here, the forward to the second edition. XIX says, least possible organization. See, God needs you to make the approach. Why? This fellowship is to have the least amount of organization. This is really radical, because now the book was written 80 years ago or 100, whatever it is. Now we're here. It's like the organization in the rooms is not what the book is talking about. It was supposed to be a little more loosey-goosey, if you ask me. That's why I've had to create the fellowship I crave. You understand, Justin? So everybody, why do we do this? Page 159, and I'm going to open it to Justin. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And I know Justin spends I'm going to just say it, a shit ton of time here, okay? A heck of a lot of time, as Justin would say, a heck of a lot of time. Page 159. Justin, tell me if this is true. You're constantly thinking how you might present your discovery to some newcomer. See, that's where our thought life is supposed to be. Constantly thinking of not only how you might present your discovery, the 12 steps, to some newcomer, how you might make the approach, how you might get them into this work through attraction rather than promotion, armed with the facts.
Yeah, and I do spend a lot of time with trying to, I guess it's keeping my eyes open, my head on a swivel. Hey, who is dying? Who needs the message that I'm trying to carry here? And one of the things that sometimes holds me back, or maybe holds others back, is this idea of their whole comportment shouts that they have a solution. I've felt this way, and although I don't know that it's to the depth of some other people who have felt this, that what do I have to carry? What am I? Is what I have what other people want? And I think that can be a really hard thing. Is if I'm going in, hey, I've worked the steps, I'm excited, but man, I don't know if my whole comportment shouts that I've got a solution, or as we read in the last couple of paragraphs, what is it? But obviously you cannot transmit something you haven't got. Maybe I don't have it, you know? So what are your thoughts? How do you build, I don't know if the confidence is the right thing, but help people say, you know what? You've got the solution. Now get to work.
Well, it depends who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to someone who doesn't like real hard language, I've always got the book between us. Sometimes I'll say, shove this up your, and turn it into a diamond. And sometimes I'll just gently say, let's turn to page 163. Okay. And both ways I say it, we end up on 163. But here it is. We know what you're thinking, new friend. You're saying to yourself, I'm jittery, I'm alone. I couldn't do that. I'm not spiritually fit, Nikki. I just got here. What was the word you just used? Justin, you said something.
Maybe I'm not, what did I say?
Not confident.
Not
You said,
confident.
I'm not confident. Yeah, that's what you said. I'm not confident. I'm not, I'm not ready. But then we, Justin, you and I say, but you can. And then I have a yes above there. I have my Sponsee write a yes. I put yes. Yes, I can. And it says, and then because remember, we're armed with the facts. We stand tall as God's people. We've made the approach. We are, our deportment shouts, we're a person. And then we stand tall. Because why? This is all in the book I'm speaking. God gave us brains to use. That's in your step 11. And then I stand tall and I say, that's page 83. I say, you, person who just worked the 12 steps, you forgot, you forget, and you will forget, and you have forgotten that you have just now, here, this minute, come on, let's do it. Let's tap it. Let's tap that source of power. And Justin, I love that word tap. See, I didn't realize it. It just says tap. It's like, I have to think I have to be consumed and I need to be working I just need to tap this power. I need to tap my thought life. That's all. Like, remember, where David G, are you listening to this? Because I love you to death. He said, turn thoughts. I'm in the room 12 years. Often I've taught step 10, turn your thoughts. But I'm always like, then run out and go help someone. And then I listened to this tape that actually David G himself sent me about fear. And he said, all you have to do is turn your thoughts to someone you can help. You don't need to physically, because now I'm at work, I'm trapped, I'm on the line, I'm on the factory line, I'm punched in, they've hand scanned me in with my eyeballs, I'm in this matrix, I can't get out of it, I'm angry, the boss is eating my soul, I'm overwhelmed, I'm actually dying in my addiction, sober at work right now, I can't wait to go hit a bottle or hit that porn or hit that, shopping spree after work or the buffet, and I can turn my thoughts in that moment. You just forget that you tapped. Now tapped. I don't need to be fully consumed in it. a source of power, and to duplicate, to sponsor everybody, to carry this message, not a diluted message, with such backing. What, Justin? What everyone who's come before for us, some of these people didn't have a book. Remember, Dr. Bob sponsored 5,000 people without a book. Well, maybe he had the book at some point. I'm not. Historians, correct me. Email Justin and correct me on that one. But it says, we have accomplished, what we have accomplished is only a matter of willingness. You need to be willing. Everybody line out every day. You need to be patient every day. And it's work, labor. Google the word in your language. What is labor? It's work. You can even put in that little blank space in your book, put C, page 14 and 15. 15 says work and self-sacrifice. Page 14 says a price must be paid. Huh. And I'm going to just tell you, I don't know, it's in the book. It's on page 77. But it says our real purpose is to serve. So friends, you're a servant of God. And that's the God you want, the God of love, the God of patience, the God of willingness, God of self-sacrifice, discipline. I mean, we could just sit here and go on and on. This is the Bible for survival. And you know what page I want you to take us to is I watched your brains explode when we were doing the roundtable with David. Justin was, and I can't find it. It was where our day begins with one, it was in the forward, one of the forwards. It's like our day begins with one addict working with another addict. I'm trying to look for it, but I can't find it in here.
Yeah, that's in the forward to the third, I think, edition. Yes, forward to the third edition, page XXII. Each day, somewhere in the world, recovery begins when one alcoholic talks with another alcoholic, sharing experience, strength, and hope.
Brains exploding.
Yeah.
That's what can you read that one more time to the people? Because this is what it's about. Each day begins when. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, my eyes are still trying to find it. You said XVII?
Very bottom, XXII, very bottom paragraph of forward to the third edition. Each day, somewhere in the world, recovery begins when one alcoholic talks with another alcoholic, sharing experience, strength, and hope. And I tell you, I have found so much truth in that since it was pointed out to me that, yeah, my day begins with God as I roll out of bed and give that day to God. But my recovery doesn't begin until I work with another addict. That's when my recovery begins, is when I work with another addict, sharing experience, strength, and hope. And that's really opened my eyes to a lot of things.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I finally found it as it's flipping around. That's the big book, isn't it? It's always right in front of your face as you're looking for that line. But that's what this is about, because we started this about how am I going to get a Sponsee? Well, let's see here. Your life depends on it, because your recovery hasn't begun until you begin each day. Each day. This is real radical. There's no perfection here. Just, Justin's going to take us out with his, I would say, final thoughts, because I've said so much. Like, just to recap, we went through page 18. We went through page 153, 152, 159, page 14, page 15, page 163. And this is a half-hour conversation. I mean, it's so cool, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what to say, Justin. Tomorrow I'm getting on the plane to go to Luxembourg. I'm taking a month off to go serve the man I want and love. And I want to do this. Like, it's just like, it's a life beyond my wildest dreams, friend. And it all started with one person giving away so freely what was given to him. He told me to go create my own 100. And Cameron, Justin, I had to sponsor. Cameron told me, go create my own 100. And I had to sponsor at least 99 people before I got one person who could actually carry the message, or one sponsee who could create a WhatsApp group for me. Like, this takes time. This takes time. And my other sponsor, I've got a few, he says like this: time takes time.
Yeah. And this is good stuff. And I'm gonna go back to where we went on page 163 to close this out. We know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, I'm jittery and alone. I couldn't do that. But you can. You forget that you've just now tapped a source of power much greater than yourself. And that source of power works. and you can make this happen through that source of power. Yeah, I don't know that I have too much more to say than that. That's just where it is. Let's leave it off there, guys. Work it. You're worth it.